Hey everyone, Tony Baccigalupo here with New Work Cities, and in this video I want to talk about the red zone. If you're starting a new co-working space, this is the time. Basically, if you take your launch day, you just take 6 weeks in either direction, 6 weeks before you launch, 6 weeks after you launch. This is a time when things, roughly 6 weeks in either direction, that things are just going to get crazy. So it's a time when you want to make sure that you have as little on your plate as possible going into this kind of 12-week period, because leading up to the launch time, you're going to have a lot of last-minute things happening, finishing up construction, building furniture, getting things promoted, maybe getting people together for a launch party, a lot of unanticipated kinks that are going to happen. And so that's going to be potentially a really, really crazy time kind of leading right up to the time when you launch. And then after you launch, you're going to have the doors open. You're going to have people coming in actually testing out your thing. They're going to be asking you questions you didn't anticipate. You're going to have all kinds of funky things coming up. You might have people really testing the quality of your internet connection, or just unearthing kind of operational challenges. And then, of course, on the good side, you might get press. You might get overwhelmed with a lot of responses, emails, phone calls, just a lot of stuff that you're going to have to work through. And so from my own experience, from what I've seen, unless you're really doing badly or unless you've really, really got it planned out very carefully, that period of time is a time you're just going to want to keep available as much as possible for whatever's going to happen. And so that red zone, that 6 before and 6 after, give or take, is something you want to kind of be looking out for. And so what can you do to make this experience as easy as possible? Well, first of all, what we want to do is we want to make as many things as possible not go into the red zone. So if you are looking at before you enter the red zone, what can you get done leading up to that? Don't put stuff off until that last couple of weeks. If there are things that you can get done leading up to that time, get them done now. And that could be things that maybe you don't think that you could do before you launch, but you don't want to have a whole bunch of things stacked up until right then. So even things like operational stuff, having a member sign up and having that onboarding process move forward, for example, is something that maybe you don't have to do until you're open, but you should have it already working and up and running and tested with some of your early members. This is, again, yet another reason why it makes so much sense and it's so important and valuable to have people who are on board to help you, who are ready to sign up for membership before you're ready to open, because those people are going to battle test your stuff. Have someone go through the entire process of signing up for membership, getting the welcome email, getting the Wi-Fi password, getting on the network, like all of that stuff. Try to get all that up and running as early as you can, as long before launch as you can, so that you can have a really good sense of how all that stuff's going to work out the kinks, and then that's one less entire block of stuff that you have to worry about once it comes to actual launch day. So that's one thing. The next thing you're going to want to do is take things that don't need to be done during this period or even before it, and just don't even bother to try to do them. Make a list of things not to do until 6 weeks after you're open, and put things on there that aren't necessary. You're going to want to do a lot of things. There's going to be a lot of programs you're going to want to do, or partners you're going to want to have, or marketing campaigns that you're going to want to try. And there a lot of these things you are going to need to do, but during this time you really just need to be focused on getting this process right. And so identify those things that just don't need to happen right now. Put them on that to-do later list. Set a reminder in your calendar to revisit that list after you kind of clear that 6-week mark, or once you're confident things have kind of cooled down. And that's just going to get a lot of stuff off of your plate. Look out for those opportunities when somebody comes to you with an idea, and they will, where they say, oh, I've got this amazing idea for this thing we can do in the community where we can do this, blah, blah, blah. And you can see this moment, you can recognize it because it feels like, oh no, this is another thing that's going to be on my plate. Awesome, great idea. If this person can't do it on their own, if they need your time and your labor and your help to do it, then be like, you know what, this is awesome. Let's talk about it 6 weeks from now. Or, let's talk about it after this red zone. And so that's something that can bleed over to other external things. So if someone's coming to you talking about a potential partnership, or sponsorship or a program or anything that they want to do in partnership with your space, you can say, this is great, awesome, let's make time for this, again, on the other side of this red zone. And you can even tell them, hey, look, I'm going to be locked in this period of time. I'm just going to be focused on fighting fires, on doing whatever needs to be done. So create that kind of catch-all time. You could even set a brainstorm time to say, hey, we're, after that first month or the first 6 weeks or 8 weeks, you're going to have an event. You can invite whoever is interested to come and kind of join the brainstorm and get kind of a check-in on the status. And that way you could just kind of shovel a lot of that stuff that's going to take up a lot of your time and attention over into that area past that kind of red zone area. So that's another thing. Another thing that's really important is practicing self-care. So during this time, you might be putting in long hours. You might be, really just kind of running yourself really hard. And so do what you can to practice a lot of the common things that we all should be practicing all the time. Practice your breath, your meditation, whatever kind of technique you have there as far as getting yourself centered. If you don't have a practice, get one right away. Drink water, eat as healthy as you can, sleep. Honestly, like these things alone. Keep yourself nourished in terms of connection with other people. If you need to vent, if you need people to talk to, find them, tell them, recruit them, tell them, hey, I might need to be able to call you up and talk to you about what's going on during this time. And if you don't have someone like that, then give me a message and we'll see what we can do. And so just make sure that this time especially do what you can to take care of your own body, of your own mind, because honestly, keeping yourself healthy during this time is going to be what's going to be best for you and for your business in the long term. And finally, take some time to celebrate. Take some time to really enjoy this process. Opening a new co-working space is a magical thing, and you want to be able to really remember these times, and you want your members to be able to remember these times as well with fondness. So even if it's not totally necessary, take the time to really make these moments special. Throw a launch party, have a commemorative speech when you open the doors. Do whatever you can to kind of have those moments and make them really special. Even if, again, it might not be totally necessary, but you don't want to look back and say that you never bothered to celebrate just because you were too busy. And in the long term, it's really going to end up benefiting you and your business if you create these really great ritualistic senses of importance around these moments that you have. Building this community, the amazing things that are going to happen in this space over the course of the next several years as you operate it, is something that we want to really instill this sense of wonder and awe in people about. It's a big deal. You've put a lot of work into this. You're going to be putting a lot of work into this for a long time. And so for your own sake, for the sake of your people, take some time to enjoy it. Take some time to really soak it in and find some little moments where you could just slow down, close your eyes, breathe in the air, and notice that you're doing something important. Notice you're doing something really meaningful and wild and incredible. And I think that that's going to really nourish you and help to serve you and help you to make it through this crazy red zone period. So those are my main tips for the red zone. If you have any other questions, of course, hit me up in the comments, shoot me an email, tony@nwc.co. Of course, would love some likes and subscribes. And if you're interested, we talk about this and so many other things in our Organizers Club. It's our online group where we share resources, we do group coaching, we have a toolkit, all kinds of stuff to make your life easier if you're starting and running a co-working space. Learn more about that at nwc.co/club. And once again, I'm Tony Bacigalupo. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you next time.